I'm Mort, your host on Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. In studio with me is a young lady who has spasmodic dysphonia. It's called the strangle voice. I'll play the voice for you in just a moment. The subtitle of today's program is The Botox Voice. The Botox Voice. There's some controversy, not much, in the medical field about Botox and its outcome. Very minor. And my experience over the years is that the Botox, which is injected into the vocal cords basically, is not as effective as it's made out to be. Allergan, the maker of Botox, is very well intentioned, but the Botox shots have gone from 99% effective to other than that. This is a voice that you might recognize if you heard the voice.
Dr. Shots, Dr. Cyclone.
You hear the voice.
I feel like I'm gonna maybe have some solution.
And the interesting aspect.
I've had 9 Botox shots. The first one worked successfully. The rest of them,
Okay. You've had 9 Botox shots?
Yes, I
Shots?
have.
What is your name?
Mary O'Donnell.
Where are you from?
I'm from outside of Boston, Massachusetts.
Why did you come to see me?
I came to see you because there was no other avenue. I had tried acupuncture, massages, Botox, speech therapy in the Boston area. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't getting better, and Botox was not an option anymore.
You had 9 Botox shots or 10?
9. 9.
And of the 9 Botox shots that you had, how many were effective?
Well, I would say the first one was very effective in that it lasted 2.5 months. Mm-hmm. I didn't return until 5 months later because I wanted to get as much as I could. And the other ones, I maybe had 2 others that were somewhat effective, and the rest of them were complete failures to half, maybe not really that so-so.
So on a basic outcome of 9 Botox shots, how many were you satisfied with?
The first one that gave me back my net,
okay, so
my
that
voice.
was 1.
Right.
What is the percentage of outcome then, if you figure it, 1 out of 9?
Not much.
Not much. The litany has been, folks, that it's 99% effective. That has been going on for years. You were not told it's 99% effective.
Well, I wasn't told a lot. This has been a journey of finding out what's what. Mm-hmm. I did the first 4 at Mass General Hospital in Boston. In the last 5 at Mass Pioneer Institute in Boston.
What was the outcome of the last Botox shot that soured you on Botox? Are you up to telling me?
Well, the last 2 that I had were in July of this year, 2007. The first one didn't take, and I went back, and it was a very difficult thing. You have to work with the doctor when you're having a needle stuck into your throat. You have to relax. I chose not to take Valium this last time. I thought I would have better relaxation. And it was took about 5 minutes anyway of him with a needle figuring out where he was putting it. And at the end of it, I went into the ladies' room and I was sobbing. I washed my hands and I coughed up a bunch of blood. I went back and down the hall. I knew it was pink blood, and I went back. And I saw the doctor coming up, and there was another doctor there, and I showed him the blood. He said, "Oh, that's normal. Don't worry about it."
That's normal.
Yeah, I was scared.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't find that normal.
No.
Doctor told you it's normal.
Yeah, don't worry about it. After Botox, that's normal. And I went on
Not
my
that
way.
I know of.
Well, you see a white coat, you believe it.
Yes, the white jackets apparently are very influential in you believing that Botox is a state-of-the-art treatment of choice. That's what patients are told. Clinically, I don't find that so. We get email, we get telephone calls, which I get permission to record. We get letters. We have a minister who had a number of Botox shots. In his letter, he said none, not one ever worked. We have patients who come in and tell me they've had 10 Botox shots, and they had one that gave them 1 day. Another Botox shot of the 10 gave them a week. So it's not effective from what I'm listening to and hearing. And blood after getting a Botox shot, I don't find is normal. We had a young man, David Walsh, you've met, who has SD. He's been on this program. He's getting a normal voice, and he sounded so good that Steve Krager, who does the show here, was amazed. He couldn't believe how good he sounds. David met a young man who had 15 Botox shots, and man in my office told us that he had 1 day of his voice and another time a week, and that's 15 Botox shots, and he cannot talk. His vocal cords are basically paralyzed. But the point I'm making is that Botox is iffy. Did they tell you that?
Well, in the very beginning, yes, they did. The doctor at Mass General said to me, we don't know if this will be successful or not. We can try it. Mm-hmm. And it was. He was very good at administering, quick, done and over.
Mm-hmm. Was that type of shot consistent?
No. The next time I went in, I had a younger doctor who had not done this very often, and that set me on the road of petrified to have to have another shot. Mm-hmm. I was scared after that because that was such a negative experience. Mm-hmm. He missed. And before I sought help, I didn't have any problem with my stomach. I felt fine. And then as I went down my journey of trying to find a solution, excuse me, I started getting burning in my stomach. I never had acid reflux. I didn't know what it was, but over this time I've gotten, my stomach has been worse and worse. Mm-hmm. I'm on heavy medication for acid reflux. And it makes me wonder when you see that blood, some of that, I swallowed a lot of that blood. Some of that Botox wasn't in my stomach. Mm-hmm. Was it causing an irritation? Is that why I have a problem now with my stomach? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So you had 9 Botox shots.
Yes.
1, correct me if I'm wrong, worked.
Worked perfectly.
Right.
It was classic.
Yeah. The other 8?
Some were a little bit better than the others, but none as good as the first one.
How many failed?
Definitely failed.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 6.
Mm-hmm. That's not a very good percentage of a surgical procedure in a Botox shot. But they're saying it's the state-of-the-art treatment of choice. We have a program I'd like you to see. It's called The Sally Show. Let's roll it in if we can and take a look at what a young lady said. Hi, I'm Mort Cooper, your host on Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. Subtitled today, What's Wrong with Your Voice? We have in studio Sylvia Cheek. She joins with me because she has a condition called the strangled voice. The strangled voice. You've heard about it before. It's when you have difficulty getting the words out and the sound isn't right. Let's hear what it's about. How long have you had this problem with the strangled voice?
I've had it for 34 years.
You've had it for 34 years.
Yes.
You're a young lady. You must have had it when you were very young.
Yeah, I think it started when I was about 18.
18.
Yes.
What happened? Do you recall?
Well, first of all, it was an automobile accident that caused some head damage. I had a tonsillectomy. I developed a horrible virus. I was sick for about 4 months. And then I lost my voice.
How long did the virus last?
About 4 months.
Did you notice the voice changing?
Yes. And I went for speech therapy. And immediately, because I was in college, was in my last year.
All right, we're coming back right here. You're listening to this young lady who had 4 Botox shots. And then she went on Sally's show. I worked with her for a month, and she had a great voice. We're going to find that show so we don't go through the entire sequence with Sylvia. She prayed to get her voice back, the strangled voice, trying 4 Botox shots. It's interesting. The Botox voice is a very interesting outcome for people who have it. As I told you, we've had individuals who've had 15 shots. Recently, we had a young lady in the office who had 54 Botox shots over 9 years, every 2 months. We had somebody who had 23 Botox shots. They were on the show over 9 years. And the voice was iffy. Both of these individuals could get a normal voice by changing the voice. Now, the medical field says that this is a neurological problem. Were you told it's neurological?
Yes. I would say there was no cure, that it's neurological.
Okay. If you take your finger and put it on your stomach and go, do you feel your voice up there? Right. Were you able to talk in noise this past week?
Yes, yes.
And you said you never could.
Right.
You're squeezing from the lower throat.
Right, I am.
And what I'm trying to get you to do is talk up in the face around the nose with nasal resonance.
I'm learning that. It's a slow process, but I am learning that.
Mm-hmm. Plus the fact that your breathing is reversed.
Right, I have a hard time with that.
Now, the people in the medical world say that the breathing is impaired because it's a neurological problem. You have a dystonia. I cannot cure a dystonia, but I report ongoing cures for 35 years. So either I'm walking on water or the medical profession is wrong as to the cause of your condition. What else do they tell you about it being a neurological problem? Did they do an MRI, a CAT scan?
No, that was not offered.
Mm-hmm.
I was offered to go into a study, but never heard anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. I asked my last Botox shot. I asked them what's new coming down the pike? Any new studies, anything coming out? And I was thinking there'd be a whole array of things the doctor might think about. And the only thing he said was they're trying to work out a new, longer-lasting Botox.
Do you recognize the voice that you came in with?
Yes, I don't want to hear it. I've had 9 Botox shots. The first one worked successfully.
Okay. Now, when you use the C-spot and jiggle, try it. See what happens to your voice. Do you hear a different voice?
Yes.
What do we have? We have the tape. All right, we're going to the Sally show. Let's take a listen to a young lady who had the problem, and you can listen to Sally.
We're going to have have Jimmy James return in a few minutes. But first, our next guest defied all the odds. She says for 34 years she didn't have a voice. And she's been working with this gentleman, Dr. Cooper, for about 4 weeks. And now really can talk again. Sylvia, you're going to talk, but you're going to talk the way you talked for 34 years. I think it's important that we hear the difference. What happened? You were 18, and what happened?
Well, I was 18 years old, and I had a tonsillectomy. And after the tonsillectomy, my voice got worse. I got a virus, and I got sicker and sicker. And by the time I got rid of the virus, I didn't have much of a voice. It would come and go. Sometimes it would almost be normal. But most of the time, it was never normal.
Doctor, what is that called?
It's called the strangle voice spasmodic dysphonia.
And what causes it?
The talking in the lower throat. My take on it is that it's misuse and abuse. The medical community is saying it's an unknown cause, and they look to medical or neurological cause, and I'm reporting cures of this condition for over 25 years.
Okay.
By direct voice rehabilitation. It's a different approach.
She's such a beautiful woman, and she sounds like a very old woman.
Yeah, when I spoke with her by phone when she called.
You thought you were going to talk to somebody who's what?
120.
120. That must be very embarrassing. I would think so. How did you find the doctor?
Well, I went through 34 years of searching. I tried absolutely everything. I went to every doctor imaginable.
It's like I'm talking to a different person.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Oh, that's so scary. So you tried everything. I'm sorry.
And as a last resort, I had tried botulism 4 times. And after I had the Botox treatments, my voice got worse. It got so bad that I was only able to whisper. And I thought, what else? I have no recourse. And they wanted me to come back for additional Botox injections to adjust the dosage, but they'd already adjusted it 3 times. And it just got worse. So I decided to go with the maverick over here, Dr. Cooper. And I thought, what else do I have to lose? 34 years, and I had nothing to lose.
She is so pretty that she was in beauty pageants, but you didn't have to speak very much, did you?
Oh, yeah, I just walked on stage, and they said, hey, she looks good.
That's it. Dr. Morton Cooper is the author of Stop Committing Voice Suicide and Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. And he says he can change anyone's voice. What do you want to ask him?
Oh, I don't want to ask him anything. I'm just saying that after 4 weeks, my personality is back. I had become withdrawn, reclusive. I had gone to psychiatrists, acupuncturists, every kind of doctor you could think of. And all of a sudden, when I got my voice back, it's like, hey, the old girl's back. Look out.
What's your most common voice problem?
The most common voice problem is a tired voice, a misused voice, it fatigues. But she had no voice. I told her when she called me that I believe I can help her come in. And she tried everything. Her speech therapist wasn't able to help her. She heard me at a medical conference, and she referred her in. How long did it take me to find your real voice?
Well, it took my real voice, he picked up in about 5 seconds. Really,
I have
honest to
somebody
God.
for you. Can you, we have somebody who would like to change her life. Her name is Kelly. Do you think you could help her?
If Kelly wants to change, I believe I can help almost everyone.
Ah, okay.
The individual has to want to change if they find that the voice is rewarding for them. And
I think she wants.
Hi, we're back in studio, and we're listening to a remarkable change of voice, as you've heard. So that was Sylvia, and that was about 11 years ago. She had 4 Botox shots, and she prayed to get off the Botox shots because it was not helping her. And my point is the Botox voice is as is now being told you that it's iffy, uncertain. Is that
Right. He said he wouldn't know if it worked on me or not. But
Right.
it did the first time. But it gives you a very weak voice. You have no means to yell ever with the Botox.
they're
in there.
paralyzing your vocal cords? That's what they're
Right,
doing.
right,
Botox is Bo for botulinum and tox for toxin.
right.
In its undiluted form, in its natural form, it's probably the deadliest poison in the world, and they make it a very positive experience, Botox.
Right.
That's interesting. They used Botox, folks, for stuttering. It was a big go for a while, and then it faded off the screen and disappeared from the radar screen because the stuttering people who got the Botox didn't find it rewarding, apparently. Drug companies are looking to extend their market, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why they're in business. But the problem is that the medical community and the drug companies are making your condition, spasmodic dysphonia, into a hopeless condition, into an incurable condition, into an area where they're saying you should have Botox for life, 4 to 10 times a year,
That's
each
what I
and
was
every
told.
year for life. They tell you that?
Yes, that's what I was told. Yeah.
But after 9
Rest-
Botox shots,
It wasn't working. It wasn't working. I was living in fear of the next Botox shot. I had no quality to my life. I was petrified.
do you feel you're getting better by what I'm telling you to do compared to where you
Yes.
came in?
Oh, yes.
This is what you came in with.
I've had 9 Botox shots. Yes.
When you talk on the phone, you're almost incomprehensible.
Right.
I know that.
Right. I hate the phone.
Right.
I felt very isolated. This is a road to get my voice back.
You've been here for a week.
Right.
Do you feel comfortable with the progress you've made?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I heard my voice. You did that very quickly. But now it's taking work.
Right.
There's no magic pill.
No.
It's work.
This is not a magic wand.
No.
You
no.
have to change a bad habit.
Oh, very bad habit.
Did you get into the bad habit gradually or suddenly?
Oh, gradually. I didn't even know I was doing it. And now I've got myself breathing wrong.
What do you mean you're breathing wrong? You're
Oh.
reversing your breathing, I showed
Yes,
you.
I was backwards.
Right.
I'd be choking my throat, strangling it, tightening all those muscles, and pushing my stomach out with no air support, trying to talk.
You know you have a voice, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I hear it. Yes.
hear it when you
I
laugh?
hear it when I laugh.
Your laugh is your voice, I say
Right.
that.
And when I cry.
And when you cry,
Right.
you're using the wrong area to talk from. You're talking from the lower throat.
I know.
Now, the medical community says that the condition is a dystonia. It's a neurological problem. They're misunderstanding. It's not a neurological problem. It can't be. They say it's a rare disease. It can't be because I report ongoing cures of this condition, and I cannot cure a neurological problem naturally. I cannot cure a rare disease naturally, which I do. I'm saying that you have a wrong voice that you're using, and you're squeezing from the lower throat,
Right.
and you're creating the very symptoms that the doctors are missing. The symptoms are reverse breathing, and they're saying that the breathing is reversed because you have a dystonia or a neurological problem or a rare disease, and I'm saying, no, that's not my experience. You're breathing reversed, called ass backwards, if I may say so, because it's a bad habit and you don't understand how to breathe normally. The strangled voice creates that terrible breathing problem. They're saying it's caused by a dystonia. Which one do you believe? I love that laugh. Which one do you believe?
It's, I misused my voice. I did it wrong, and I'm trying to unlearn a bad habit.
Do you feel it's a bad habit, or do you feel it's a gene-related problem?
Oh, bad habit.
It's not a dystonia?
No,
It's not a neurological problem?
no,
It's not a psychiatric problem?
no.
Did anybody ever tell you when you had your 9 Botox shots There's an alternative to Botox.
No.
How did you find me?
My lovely sister-in-law happened to have dinner next to a gentleman who had SD. And he told her about you and about Scott, a gentleman who, Scott Adams, who creates Dilbert. So I did a little research online, found you, read your book.
Did you read Scott Adams' blog on what he said about me? It's life-changing experience.
Right, yes,
And
yes.
he has a voice he can talk with. He had 5 Botox shots. His experience is that 2 worked, 2 didn't, the other one iffy and so forth. So it wasn't working for him. The whole point I'm making is the Botox voice can leave you in a very questionable position. If it works for you, that's fine. I have a book called Curing Hopeless Voices. It's on my website. You can download it free, the whole book. It's called Curing Hopeless Voices, the Strangled Voice, Spasmodic Dysphonia, an Alternative to Botox. Now, the people who do Botox are not happy with me because I'm reporting cures and they're saying there are no cures, and they guarantee there are no cures, as does the medical community and my field, the American Speech Language Hearing Association, and an organization that's funded by Allergan, the maker of Botox, the National Spasmodic Dysphonic Association, all guarantee there are no cures. So I give hope, and they say there is no hope. They give you a death sentence. Which one do you like?
I want my voice back, and there's hope.
There is hope. Thank you
Yes.
for joining with me. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.